I'm not going to be on here with you long tonight, but I have something that I want to talk about. Let me see if I can get this phone situated. You know it's impromptu when I'm using my phone like this. How's everybody doing? I pray that you're doing well. I know that this is way off of my hour. I'm normally nowhere around here this time of night. But I have something I want to talk about that I think is worth the conversation. I was in New Jersey, I guess about a week or so ago, at Tiana Von Johnson's amazing conference, Women Doing It Big. And the statement was made by Dear Heart, which really resonated with me. It's a powerful statement. As a upwardly mobile, progressive woman, she said to the audience, "Don't call me strong anymore." And I understood what she was saying. She said that when women are considered strong, society has a tendency to forget about them, not check on them, leave all of the responsibility on their shoulders. And that is so very, very true. And when you think about how society views a strong woman, society views a strong woman as being a woman that is not feminine. So it's almost impossible to be considered a feminine woman and a strong woman at the same time, which is completely and totally untrue. Just because you are a strong woman does not mean that you are not a feminine woman. In fact, many times to be feminine requires greater resilience and a greater strength than people might realize. But every woman is born with strength. You know, if you're looking from a biblical context or biblical perspective, God made the woman and the man to dominate the earth. Dominion requires strength. And so this idea that I don't want to be considered strong, or society considering a woman that is strong less than feminine, is really a fabrication. It is a perversion that disrupts the balance in the way relationships are supposed to work. A woman is supposed to have the liberty of being able to be strong and yet be honored as feminine or as a woman. A man should not take advantage of a woman's strength and leave all of that weight on her shoulders. Because a strong woman is not feminine, right? Not so. Not so. There's a yin yang. There is a harmony that has to happen. That a woman, when she needs to be strong, she can turn that on, she can put that hat on, and she can still be respected, still be honored as a woman. And then you have, now these are just thoughts I had, so, you know, nothing's organized here. Then you have this myth where for a man to be a man, he can't be sensitive. So they say for a woman to be a woman, she can't be strong. She has to be, you know, when they say not strong, that means she has to be kind of dumb, gullible, weak. You know, it's, I don't know what I'm going to do and all this kind of stuff. And that's not true. But then you flip the coin, they say, well, if a man is going to be masculine, he can't be sensitive, right? You know, like we were watching, or at least I didn't watch, I just kind of saw some of the sound bites and the highlights from the Johnny Depp thing and his wife, I guess ex-wife now. And she was talking about how he was crying And she had never seen a man cry like that before, as if men don't cry. And they actually train you. You know, you're a man, you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to feel. And so we hold all of this stuff in, and this is why we have shorter lifespans as men, I believe. And this is why we have so many health conditions like heart attacks and strokes and all of this kind of stuff. It's because we've been taught that if you're going to be a masculine man, you cannot be sensitive. You can't really, you can't listen. You know, you can't have all of these deep conversations with your woman. You can't be sensitive. You know, you can't cry. And what has society done, man? Society has taken the man and made the man feel like, well, if the woman is strong, she's not feminine, so I don't want her. And then society has taken the woman and says, well, if a man is sensitive, he's not masculine enough, I don't want him. When the reality is the essence of the man is masculine, the essence of the woman is feminine. But the woman has the capacity to be strong because sometimes she's going to need to be strong, even in the context of marriage. No king needs a weak queen. And watch this. There are times that a man is going to have to be sensitive. If a man cannot tap into sensitivity, the feeling aspects of himself, there are going to be most days that he's not going to be able to relate to his own woman. And so when we paint these narratives that because a woman is strong, because she's bossed up, because she's, you know, on her grind, reaching her goals, she can't be feminine. It's either or. She's going to either have to divorce herself from, you know, her goals, her dreams to be feminine, or, you know, she's going to have to, or he's going to have to, you know, man is going to have to be cold and callous to be. Well, when we put one another in those positions as men and women, what we're effectively doing is we're handcuffing the other. And in those times where they should be able to relate to us, they're going to be incapable of relating. In those times when the woman is supposed to be able to help the man, she won't be able to help him, because if she helps him, she's going to be deemed as masculine and unattractive. Those times when the man should feel his woman and connect with her, he won't be able to connect because she's not going to respect him now because he's too sensitive. And so, you know, the more you unpack this stuff and actually live with this stuff and have these conversations and deal with all of these people and live some life for yourself, the more you realize that this masculinity, femininity thing has been misconstrued in a lot of detrimental ways. And what really has to happen is you got to stop getting your information from social media, and we really have to begin to go back and read and study people who really know what they're talking about. And you have to pay attention to life and the real world. You know, because what the world really needs now are men that can feel. We really do. We need a more sensitive generation of brothers. Now, you know, think about it this way. Who's any more sensitive than Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson is like one of the most sensitive men that you will ever sit and listen to. Mike Tyson is like in touch with, you know, his feelings and the feelings of others. And yet he's one of the most vicious people on the planet. I mean, he's the most masculine man in the room, and most of the time, he's the most sensitive man in the room. And every man is supposed to be able to strike that balance. But if we're going to strike that balance, we can't feel like if I tap into that part of me, I'm going to be disrespected by my woman, or I'm going to be viewed as less than a man. Every wise man puts his woman in a position where she's not afraid to manifest her strength, because that strength ultimately is supposed to be used, or should be, or could be used in the context of family, if she chooses to have one, where she becomes that man's partner. I don't know where I was, but I was talking about how the most, if you play chess, the most lethal piece on a chessboard is the queen. She's the most lethal piece on the chessboard, and her main agenda is to protect the king. Any wise king chooses a powerful queen. But when we get all of this foolish information from all of these sources, and it's crazy to me how we get our information about women from men that really don't have one. We get our information about women from men that don't have one. We get our information about men from women that don't have one. And so you're buying into these toxic narratives that the world is painting, and you can see that the philosophies of the world are not working, because we can't make marriages work. We can't even get past the relationship hurdle. We can't even get a good relationship going on here now, because we're so separated in terms of there is no common ground for us to connect on. And so I was just sitting here and I was pondering this thing, strength versus sensitivity. If a woman is strong, does that mean she's not feminine? If a man is sensitive, does that mean he's not masculine? And see, there are probably some of you that are watching this time of night that have, you've run off women. See, you've run off women that were strong women that could really help you. You see, you don't realize what kind of woman you need now, because your life has not evolved. When your life really gets to where it's going, you're going to realize you need a woman for more than somebody just sitting around looking cute, taking milk baths and changing her nail polish every 2 or 3 days. You're gonna need a woman that can get in the. There's this thing on Instagram, especially, where see brothers say, I like a woman that can I forget exactly how it goes, but he's talking about how he likes a woman that can be killing it one day and look homeless the next. You need a woman that can roll her sleeves up. You need a woman that can do warfare. You need a man that can lead the family, a man that can do the earning, a man that can get in the street and scrap if he needs to physically, but at the same time can sit down and look you in your eye and have a heart-to-heart conversation with you. And he can't be punished for that. If there's any place a grown man should be able to cry and still come out respected, it ought to be at home with his woman. But how many women have bought into this idea that if a man is sensitive, he doesn't have the kind of masculinity you need and desire. It's the most masculine man, honestly. So, hey, I didn't know anybody would come on here tonight, but I mean, those were some of my thoughts. I went tonight and we sat down, Lisa and I sat down with some of 3 of the ladies in the Chicago area that are part of MORDECAI, the MORDECAI Mission, our mentoring program. And we just sat and we had amazing conversation about everything, relationships, everything. And this is one of the things that that I left away from that conversation thinking about, how there's been this misappropriation of masculinity and femininity. And now we're raising our young boys. We've got to get our boys back to what it really means to be masculine. Because now the world is teaching our young boys, as it always has, but it's worse now than ever, that masculinity is about managing and manipulation of femininity. And so now we have a calloused group of men that have no feeling for the woman. And the reality is, authentic masculinity is overly sensitive to the feelings of the woman. When you start talking about a generation of men that can hurt a generation of women, or see a generation of women hurting and feel nothing, that is some twisted form of masculinity. When we're talking about real masculinity, we're talking about, we're talking about brothers that are overly sensitive, to femininity and are concerned about the feelings of womanhood. And these brothers have degraded to this in part because they've been trained this way by a degenerate group of men that came before them, and then this twisted generation of women sends the signal. If you're at all sensitive, and if you're loving towards me, I'm gonna make you pay for that, because I don't view you as masculine anymore. And that's true. Brothers make that claim, and it's very true. Women have this thing many times where you talk about swag, and you talk about swag, many times you're talking about a man that is emotionally unavailable. That's the men that you find, many women find most attractive. A man that's gonna break your heart, a man that you cannot lock down to commitment, and then you constantly running behind this man, and you're leaving the guy that's sensitive to you, connected to you emotionally, and really wants to have a real relationship with you, you leaving him brokenhearted. And that's something we don't typically talk about, is how women many times break the hearts of good men. And sometimes these brothers look good, they earn good, they treat you good, but they just too sensitive. And when I say sensitive, I'm not talking about around here in their feelings and crying and whining. Y'all know how I feel about that. No grown man got no time to be around here in his feelings like that. But there's a man that is connected emotionally. And so I'm sitting here and just having these thoughts, and I decided to hit the button and just share with you all tonight. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Is my signal good? Is my signal gone? Is my signal gone? Yeah. Good. So I decided to have this conversation with you all tonight. I hope it made sense, but this is where my head is. This is where my head is. And if we don't begin to make some changes in this, it's not going to get better. And we have young girls that are caught in the crossfire of all of this bad information. We have young girls who are now saying, well, since a strong woman is viewed as not feminine and I want to be a feminine woman, I'll cut back on my goals. I won't go as hard. I won't accomplish as much. I won't project myself as much because I don't want to be viewed as not feminine, when the reality is all of that's in the mix. There are some of you ladies that are strong, and you are lamenting the fact that you've been strong, and the reality is God gave you that strength. If you were not strong, where would you be right now? The only thing that pulled you through is the fact that God gave you a supernatural strength. So you don't need to lament that strength. When brothers become, when grown masculine men become more connected emotionally, it's then that our children are going to have better fathers, our women are going to have better men. So there's some work we got to do. But I think it begins with, we got to stop listening to all of these stupid people saying all of this stupid stuff that doesn't make sense. And we got to get back to the Creator's original plan for us. Right now, everybody's angry and everybody's just, blaming the other side. And the reality is, as men, we got to hold one another accountable. We got to be able to say to one another, man, we've preached a false brand of masculinity that is not healthy, that does not work for our families or our communities, and is unnecessary. Women have to say, well, we have aided in that because we have communicated in one way or another that a man that is attractive is a man that is not sensitive. Brothers have to say, we've not celebrated the strength in our women. And it's the strength of our women that has held our communities together. When we were out running the streets, acting a fool like we trained one another to do, drinking and running women, it was our women that was at home raising our children. They may not have come out perfectly, but they survived because we had strong women. We got to admit that our women have been strong and that we've been the beneficiaries of that strength. And we have to go back and we have to challenge the insecurity in us that will not allow us to celebrate a strong woman when the Bible says that God gave the woman for the man. She's a gift to you. All of that strength that she has on the inside of her is a gift God has given in the person of your woman to you. But anything you cannot celebrate will eventually leave your life. Correct. If we want to have more, if we want our women to be more feminine, we are going to have to celebrate their strength, accept them for who they are, step up into our masculinity as men, and build the trust, and then they will be free, she'll be free to fall back into her femininity. And the reality is we are supposed to experience the best of both worlds. We are supposed to experience the best of both worlds. Right? The same father that goes out into the street and hustles and works 3 or 4 jobs and all of this kind of thing is the same man that's supposed to be able to come home and sit down and have conversation with his children about things that concern them. Same man that's supposed to be able to hear his woman. She's supposed to feel heard and seen. Same woman that goes out and can run a whole office of hundreds of employees and keep everything in order and bark out orders and have everything on point is the same woman that's supposed to be able to come home and make her man feel like a king. Of course, he got to be one. She's the same woman that's supposed to be able to come home and bring a feminine energy into that house that, turns a house into a home. The same one. But it's when we understand that we're all inclusive of this, you know what I mean? A woman is feminine and strong. A man is masculine and sensitive. And when we respect that, and when we start appreciating the fact that we need one another to fill these roles, a woman needs a man that can feel her. A man needs a woman that can step up to the plate and swing and hit a home run, because you ain't gonna be on your game every day. So if you're not a brother that can tolerate the strength of a woman, um, maybe you're struggling in your king consciousness, because kings realize they need queens, and queens are powerful women that have the same capacity as kings, same mindset. So I think I'm about to go, y'all. I'm tired now. But is this making sense? What am I watching on TV? I'm looking at, I'm just glancing at the news, actually. I'm not looking directly into this camera because my eyes are so red. I'm so tired. But I just wanted to come on here and have this conversation with you all. Makes sense to me. Yeah, somebody said I need to step back up into my power. You cannot allow, listen to this, this was a part of our conversation tonight. It was Lisa and three ladies. You cannot allow the rejection of a broken man to cause you to shrink. You cannot allow the rejection of a broken man or men or a society to cause you to shrink. You can never do that. As a woman, you can never do that. Women are constantly trying to shift and change and all of this kind of stuff, dumbing yourself down and all of this to try to win the affections of a man, when the reality is, when women develop certain standards and you hold those standards, men have no choice but to align themselves. Men are going to change the game when women establish standards that you're not going to come down off of. The reason you have men that are so, what's the word I'm looking for? Adamant about the way men live today is because we have a generation of women that tolerate it. When women don't tolerate it and certain behavior eliminates access to women, that's when you're going to see the general consensus of men change. But as long as the self-esteem of women keeps plummeting, and women keep dumbing themselves down, and women keep, falling off and just going lower and lower and lower, the worse men are going to get. Because it doesn't matter how valuable a thing is, if I know where I can get it for free, I'm going to exploit the situation. So, a lot of people don't like to hear me talk the way I talk, but I mean, I am who I am. I talk the way I talk. That's why y'all getting on the thing naked and just throwing yourselves out here to the lowest bidder is not working for womanhood at large. And y'all need to really start holding yourselves accountable, because you will never get men to respect you if you do not respect yourself. And if you say, well, this is my vision, this is my purpose, but you're willing to trash all of that for the presence of a man, so it means you're willing to divorce yourself from you. You're willing to lose you while you pursue someone else. As long as your mindset is like that, this is going to change when women come back to the place where you realize that you are the prize. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't no man, no prize. You are the prize. And you behave like that, you function like that, and you establish standards around yourself like that. And for a man to have access to you, so you got to be good. You're not healthy if you're not good being alone. See, if you cannot be alone, you're not a healthy woman. Because this is the wrong world to be needy of somebody's presence. Because if you're needy, it means that you're going to compromise things that are precious. You gotta be comfortable being alone. And until the situation is right, and if you hold to that, don't dumb yourself down. Any man that's not smart enough to intrigue you is not your man. Doesn't make him a bad guy. Don't dumb yourself down. Any man that's not large enough to accommodate you, he ain't your guy. Keep on fulfilling purpose. Keep on living your life until your man comes along. But don't lose you trying to pursue somebody else. You got to be able to be with you and be good with being with you. You got to be good with being you. And everybody got to know that she's cool with being by herself. She ain't gonna settle just because somebody said, well, if you don't have a man, you're not this or you're not that. All right, y'all, I love you. I'm out of here. Have a great, 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 great night. And I'll talk to y'all soon. In fact, I'll talk to y'all Monday night. Y'all know I'm going to see you Monday night if I don't see you before then. But I told you I would try to do these impromptus a little more. So I love y'all. Have a great, 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 great night. Don't forget to go by my website, RCBLAKES.com. Sign up for my mailing list. Check out the online programs, Queenology, Transcending the Father Wound, Breaking Soul Ties, Wisdom for Women in Ministry, all of that. Go to Amazon, check out all of my books. Those of you that need counseling, there will be a link in the description for you to follow for better help counseling. Hey, I love y'all. I want you to have a great night, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thank y'all for coming in tonight. I didn't know that as many of you all were coming. Did y'all give me a thumbs up? We got over 1,000. We had over just a second ago. We had over 1,000 people in here. I don't know how many likes we got, but y'all try to make sure you give me a like before you get out of here tonight. I'll talk to you real soon. God bless you.